Hey folks, Steve here. How are you doing? Well, this will just be a quick video because it's about a small tool. Long time ago, quick history lesson, I was able to eventually afford my own 20-volt toolkit, you know, where you get 5 tools and it costs like $500. When I got them, they were all brushed because of the age. So there you go. You know, there's no sign here about being brushless. This is a brushed impact driver that came with that very kit. Still going strong. So yay. However, I realized, because this was my only driver for a very long time, that as I was doing more and more contracting and I was relying on this, what if this breaks down? A drill will fill in, you can drop this in a drill and the drill will actually drive screws, no problem. It was done for years. As long as we've had drills, I'm sure someone figured out a way to put some kind of a screwdriver head on it and make that magic happen. So this is simply a convenience, but it's a very functional convenience. So I was worried about this thing just breaking down on me. So of course I wanted to have a backup. So therefore I went ahead and purchased this. This thing here, this old tool DCF-860. So I don't know when they made it, but I know when I bought it. This tool right here that was meant to be the backup. So if this goes down, you know, this one is right there ready to go. But of course, when you have a new tool, why not use it? So I started using this one more than this one. So this really became my backup. And it was no longer the go-to workhorse, which of course extends its life. This one right here is DCF-787. This one is brushless. Well, this one, I was up on a lake. I was putting in decking on a dock, 1,300 square feet. It was impressive. I have a video on that somewhere, you know, as far as I think showing the end job. I didn't film it while I was doing it. And this was on that job. I was running both of these screw guns for different, you know, with different tips on it. This one went in the lake not once, but twice. Now, it was only 7 feet right around the dock, so I was able to, the first time I freaked out, and I just dove in. Fortunately, I wasn't wearing a tool belt, but I just dove in. Shoes, everything. I just dove in and rescued the tool. But it was already wet, so I don't know what I was thinking. So I got out, and I was fairly wet for the rest of the day. Dried this tool out, WD-40 the heck out of it. I used an air tool to try and do everything that I could there. Let it set, let the battery set. Both came back just fine. Beautiful. Then it went in the lake again. That time, a calmer mind controlled the reaction to want to dive right in for it. I stopped, took the shoes off, probably took the shirt off. I kept my shorts on, certainly. I don't know who was around, but and then I went in the water, 7 feet down, grabbed the tool, came up, did the same thing, WD-40, air tool, let it set, WD-40, air tool again, let it set. Same thing with the battery. Both came back. But anyway, this tool really, it came back, and I was absolutely surprised. I just didn't know what to expect, but wonderful. So it's still going. Realizing that, well, if this does go, finally, and this is my workhorse, then I still need a backup. So I bought a third. And that's this one. And this time I got the atomic one, which is really small. I mean, you know, look at the size comparison with the housing. So really small. This is the smallest one I think they make still, even though there's another one that's very small, like this. So this is the atomic one. This is the 850, and I love this one. This is now my this is my workhorse over this one. Well, that being said, I was on a job site recently using this I was installing an old homeowner-made cabinet, and it had a base. The base sat down, and then this 8-foot by 4-foot cabinet. Basically, it was a piece of plywood that someone had framed around and made adjustable shelves on. And I was just putting the base in, and I was running 4-inch screws, and I was running it with this. I've had no problem with this impact driver ever until that job 2 weeks ago. I'm driving that screw, it starts to dog down. You know, I don't know why. It's not just zip, you know. I'm just going through 2x4s, two 2x4s, that's all I'm going through. And this thing just starts dogging right down, and all of a sudden smoke starts coming out of the back of this thing. And I'm like, doing one of those numbers. So I stop, and I put this aside, and I forget which one. I think I went and got this one. And then I used this to back the screw out, and then drove the screw in, and this one, like, zip, just drove it fine. And I put 2 more screws in the base using this, and it drove it just fine. So it wasn't the lumber, it wasn't the screw. I don't know what the hell was going on with this thing. It worked since. So I have driven regular screws into, you know, not overly thick wood with this since, even on that job site later that day, just to make sure that it was still working. But now I'm afraid of this one. This one's old, and now I'm afraid of this one. So I got a 4th. Oh man, I love tools. As I've said in many videos, hello, my name is Steve. I have an addiction That addiction is tools. Step 1 is to admit the problem, and I have 11 more steps before I don't have tools, and I have no desire to buy them, and I know I'm not going to get there. So for those of you who might be waiting for some kind of an apology at some point in step 6 or 7 or 8, ain't coming, because I ain't going to get that far. So here we go. Did some research, got online, watched a few videos, and there's this new 860 out. This is an 860. And it seems like this is the newest, latest, greatest, and it's driving screws faster than anything else, you know, like especially on this table it's saying. And it's beating the other new one, the one with the hydraulics. So I went ahead and ordered it. 140 bucks, Amazon. I thought about getting this in a kit. However, when I priced out the pieces of the kit, an 8 amp hour battery, which was really what I was shooting for, had a fast charger, because with those larger batteries, you're going to get a fast charger. And this thing, and it was like 260 bucks. Really tempting, but honestly, as much as I would like an additional fast charger, I do not need one. And that 8 amp hour battery, while I would really like an additional 8 amp hour battery, do I absolutely need it? And the answer is no. And so I was able to save myself $130, so double the price of the tool, by only buying the bare tool itself. So that's what this is. I'm not going to demonstrate it because there are a lot of videos out there that are demonstrating the 860. You can go find them, and they are running them against newer ones than I have, with the exception of this one is still relatively recent as far as the 850, the little atomic, and so that one is creeping up. That one is still showing up in videos as a comparison to this one, as you know, when they're doing speed trials or torque trials or whatever trials they're doing. Tool, yay. So now I got 4 of them, and I only have space for 3 of them in there. Even though this is small, I honestly have no idea where I'm going to put it. I'll find a space, but you know, it's going to be non-conventional, sitting up on whatever. So anyway, there you go. I have actually thought about replacing this one, the one that smoked. I think this one will end up in my walkout basement. In my walkout basement back behind me here, all of my corded tools, with minor exception, the older corded tools like the DeWalt Sawzall, that they've all migrated there. My old 18-volt tools, I had 3 drills and 1 impact driver, and they're still going. The drills, you can smell the brushes, but they're still going, and I still have some 18-volt batteries, the big kind of oval ones. They're still going, and if my tool trailer's not here and I'm working around the house, they're the ones that I'm grabbing and doing. And they're still on some more recent videos as I was constructing stuff. I just grabbed them because I'm right there at the basement. But I have replaced my 6.5 inch, the one that came with this old brushed kit, my 6.5 inch cordless 20-volt brushed blade left circular saw. That became the workhorse of all of my circular saws. That was the one I was grabbing because I loved the blade left. I think it was my only blade left at that time. Eventually I got a track saw that's also blade left. But that one is a dedicated saw for very particular reasons. The other one is just a general saw for anything you want to cut. And that was my workhorse, and it was the corded, or it was the brushed, and it was as old as this one, so I was worried about that one, again, breaking down, and I do like that blade left setup because of the way I cut stuff. So that one migrated into my walkout basement as my first 20-volt tool. I have retired to kind of low usage, and I replaced it with the most updated version of that saw. It's a brushless, and it's a blade left. It's still the 6.5 inch blade, and it has a couple of updated features to it. So I love that thing. It is now, again, that tool is now my workhorse. It is my go-to for circular saws. So that being said, I believe this one will actually retire in there because I'm limited in my tool trailer, which is right there. I'm limited in space, and can I jam, crunch, do whatever, find a drawer maybe? Yes. But my tools really live in those tool cubbies, and if I start putting stuff in drawers, I'm going to forget that they're there. I've forgotten I'd had routers in my drawer. I don't go to my corded routers all the time. I use those little cordless routers if I'm rounding things over. So my corded routers, I forgot that I was carrying them and that they were in those drawers. So that's the danger for me putting stuff in drawers. So this, I think, is going to migrate back. It's going to retire itself to kind of a low-use life. This will go in its cubby in place of it. I will be back up to, if it dies, it dies. Love this thing because it's small, and I use this a lot for like cabinet installs. And now I have a backup to either one of them, or this becomes the go-to, and one of these is the backup. Whatever it's going to work, right? However that's going to work. Forgot what's in the box. Well, it's just a bare tool, and probably and a belt clip. And always a set of instructions. All right, and then just a tool in the bag. Ah, that new tool smell. this was, no, that could come out wrong. I'm going to stop. All right, well, wonderful. Here we go. Here's the new one, replacing the old one. Actually, it's a teeny bit smaller. You know, maybe a 1/4 inch, maybe a 1/2 inch, but it's not significant. This one, the old brushed. Yeah, it's certainly smaller than that. The atomic. Nope, bigger than the atomic, and that was expected. There you go. New and updated. You've got power settings down here instead of up here, and 1, 2, 3 being the fastest. You also have, I think, a light setting, and you get the 9 LED array as opposed to the 3 LED array. Oh, look at that! I didn't even know I've got one functional light there. This one, there's the 3, and that one just has a central bottom light. So this one will have, well, for goodness sakes, let's drop a battery on it and show you. My God, jibber jabber. That's what I do. There you go. And apparently you can, you know, it has like 3 dim settings or something like that, or brightness settings. I'm not going to screw with it. You get the idea, though. And there is one setting where you can, you know, if you set it, this light will stay on with the tool unattended for, I think, 20 minutes. As I saw that on a video. I haven't read the instructions yet. And that would be like, you know, you're in a tight space, you don't want to go grab a flashlight, but you need a light because you're doing that thing. You got a light. If you're using an impact, you got this light, and that light will stand. You don't have to continually kind of goose the trigger, which I had to on the other ones, because I did that. I used it as a light sometimes. But you'd have to goose the trigger every, you know, 20, 30 seconds or something like that. So neat stuff. This one is going to get retired. Not permanently, just retired. Well, folks, thank you very much for sticking with me. Go out there, have a great day, because you deserve it. If you haven't already, if you would please like and subscribe. It's a great way to say thank you to the channel, but more importantly, it's free to you. So thank you very much. It does help the channel out immensely, and I appreciate that. Leave a comment below. Tell me something. Tell me about your experience with any of these, or maybe there's a better one out there. And granted, if it's a different color tool, I'm happy for you. I'm sticking with the black and yellow because that's the battery platform I landed on. They're not any better. They're not any worse. It's just a different color. So if you like your other colors, I'm happy for you. And yes, your tools work very, very fine. Okay? That being said, I would ask you to ring that bell and get notified, so when I drop a new video, not on any regular schedule, you'll actually get notified and you can make a decision on if you want to watch it or not. Otherwise, I will say thank you, and I hope you see me, of course, on that next video that I drop. And as the handyman would say, I love that guy, as appropriately, as the handyman would say, goodbye.